Hello, I'm Tom.
And I'm Jen. Welcome to the Easily Amused group.
Hey, guess what? This is my theme song. If you're watching this right now and you don't immediately recognize my face, then you've probably expressed interest in watching Doctor Who. But you probably don't know where to start. Now you may be thinking just start with Season 1, Episode 1, where the mannequins come to life and the Doctor fights living plastic.
And if you've already tried to start with this episode, it probably just made your head hurt and made you question why this show is so popular.
And with pretty much any other show, starting with Season 1, Episode 1 would be a good idea, but Doctor Who is unique.
Season 1, Episode 1 is not actually the first episode. The series originally went on the air in 1963 with what they called Series 1, Episode 1, and it ran until it was cancelled in the late 1980s.
In 1996, they tried to revise the show using a feature-length movie as the pilot, but the movie bombed and the revision never happened.
That is until 2005 when they successfully revised it in the Living Plastic episode.
We say revised, not rebooted, because they didn't start the show over, they continued with the existing story. So that episode basically assumes that you're already familiar with the show's 50-year backstory. So with the upcoming release of Season 7, we're going to get you caught up and explain the backstory as easily as we can. The main character, who is only known as the Doctor, is an alien called a Time Lord.
He has a spaceship called the TARDIS.
It travels through time and space and is bigger on the inside. And its chameleon circuit allows it to disguise itself as something from any time period on any planet on which it lands.
The Doctor landed in London in 1963, and the TARDIS disguised itself as a police phone box. Then the chameleon circuit broke, causing it forever to look like a big blue box.
So the Doctor is a Time Lord and he's hundreds of years old. But Time Lords are not exactly immortal, they just have a much longer lifespan than humans. They have this little trick where when they're close to death, they just regenerate. The process of regeneration restores them to full health, but in so doing causes every cell in their body to start anew. So the Doctor then gets a whole new body and a whole new personality.
In the real world, this means another actor comes in to play the role, which is what has allowed the show to run for 50 years.
To date, there has been 11 actors in the role as the Doctor, with the current one being Matt Smith. Now that that's all out of the way and you're up to speed on the basic premise, there is one more thing we have to explain before we proceed with watching the show. As with any given show, especially sci-fi, there are great episodes and then there are weaker episodes.
How many Trekkies have seen Encounter at Farpoint more than once?
And the Doctor is no different. When it's great, it's really great. Epically huge. But when it's not, well...
Let's just say that the episode that is generally considered one of the worst features a giant wasp that beats its victims to death with an iron rod before falling in love with a human. So we are going to give you our suggestions on which episodes to watch first.
The 10th Doctor, David Tennant, is widely considered to be the fan favorite, so we're going to start by suggesting 5 10th Doctor episodes.
Starting with the one that most Whovians agree is the best first episode, Blink. This episode features what is widely considered the scariest monster in Doctor Who history, the Weeping Angel.
Stone statues when you're looking at them, and you can't kill a stone. Well, of course, a stone can't kill you either, but then you turn your back. Then you blink. And oh yes, it can.
Then we suggest Midnight, my personal favorite.
The Doctor, along with several humans, go on a sightseeing trip across the uninhabitable planet Midnight. Then the shuttle breaks down and they discover the planet isn't as void of life as they thought.
In the very moving episode, The Fires of Pompeii, the Doctor tries to impress his companion by taking her to ancient Rome. Only his calculations are slightly off and they end up in Pompeii on the day before Volcano Day.
Next, you should watch The Girl in the Fireplace, where the Doctor and his 2 traveling companions land on a deserted ship in deep space, only to find that the onboard AI has cannibalized the crew in order to repair itself.
And the ship punches a hole in the universe to reach pre-revolutionary France, where it thinks the final missing part is waiting.
And in honor of the recent landing of the Mars rover Curiosity and NASA's mission statement to put a man on Mars in the 2030s, we suggest the episode The Waters of Mars, which takes place in 2059 on the first human colony on Mars. This episode aired between Season 4 and Season 5, but it gives a really good insight into the Doctor's personality.
With the 11th Doctor, Matt Smith, the entire show got an overhaul. We suggest you start with 11 on Amy's Choice. This episode offers the main characters a choice between 2 realities. Having not seen the previous episodes, you'll easily easily get caught up in having to choose which reality is real.
Then after that, you should go back and watch the 11th Doctor's first episode, The 11th Hour, which is a very good introduction episode. It really establishes the relationship between the Doctor and his companion, Amy Pond.
Then you should watch that very relationship get put to the test in The Girl Who Waited, where the Doctor accidentally traps Amy in solitary confinement on an alien planet for 36 years.
Then follow that up with the very next episode in line, The God Complex, where they accidentally land on a prison ship dressed up to look like a 1980s hotel, where the rooms contain bad dreams.
And for our last suggestion, we're going to give you a choice. You should either see the Doctor go back to the time of pirates in The Curse of the Black Spot,
or see him go back in time and save Vincent van Gogh in the very powerful episode, Vincent and the Doctor.
Now we know that many people have different ideas on what episode to watch first. So if you're already into the show, please let us know in the comments if you agree with us or not, and what your suggestions might be.
Well, that pretty much completes our guide on how to begin watching Doctor Who. Have fun watching! Oh yes!
Allons-y!
Geronimo!
Sacagawea!
Thank you for watching The Easily Amused Group, the show that is always thinking fourth dimensionally.